Okay guys, this is Mr. Rob again, and today I'm going to be bringing you a little lesson on area of rectangles, triangles, and circles. One thing that we need to talk about as we begin this is what a square unit is. Now, if I'm talking about something linear, and let's say I measure this here, and I measure this, this, and we've got this little line segment, I got it as 10 centimeters. Okay, sorry, this shouldn't be an arrow. I got this as 10 centimeters. Now, this centimeters is a linear measurement. It's going in a straight line. If this were 1 centimeter long, that's pretty close. If this were 1 centimeter long or tall and made a little rectangle like this, there'd be 10 centimeters on the inside. Now, I didn't measure all these obviously, but each one of these is going to be a square unit. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until we get 10 of them. That means that this little rectangle here, this little bar, is going to be 10 centimeters squared. Rather than, or I'm sorry, let's write it like this. Let's write 10 square centimeters. Sorry, 10 square centimeters. A square centimeter is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter square on all sides. A centimeter only measures one dimension. Okay? All right. So we're gonna deal with 3 different types of figures here. We're gonna start with rectangles. So I got this rectangle here. It is 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Now, I have 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter graph paper here, so you could count all of the centimeters inside here, square centimeters. This being 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And we could say, okay, this is 50 square centimeters. All right? Now, one thing that you're going to realize is 50 square centimeters is the same as 5 centimeters multiplied by 10 centimeters. 5 multiplied by 10 is going to be 50 centimeters times multiplied by centimeters, right? Anything multiplied by itself is centimeters squared, square centimeters. So this is going to be 50 square centimeters. I like to see it written like this. That way you don't think that this is a squared symbol, okay? So 50 square centimeters. This will work on any given rectangle. If you multiply the length of one side by the length of the other side, you're always going to be able to get the area in square units. So we come up with this formula for the area of a rectangle as this. Area equals base times height. Okay? B for base, H for height. Base, height. Sorry. Base and height. Okay? This is always going to work. Area equals base times height if we're dealing with a rectangle. So that means, if I go to example 2 here, I've got 8 centimeters, I made it a little too big. I've got 8 centimeters by 15 centimeters. Here, I'll just rewrite this in here that this was 8 centimeters. Okay? 8 centimeters by 15 centimeters. If you multiply 8 times 15, so if we did area equals base times height, okay, we're going to get area equals 15 multiplied by 8. Okay? We'll break this down into 15 times 4 twice because that's how I do the math in my head. Anyways, 15 times 8 is going to be 120. Okay? If you need to break that down, 15 times 4 would be 60, and then there's 2 of those. So this is going to be 120 square centimeters. Okay? You can go back and count them. These are 15, 30, 45, 60. And then another 15, 30, 45, 60. So that's 60 and 60 is 120. Okay? So there we go with the area of a rectangle. All right? Now let's talk about the area of a triangle. Okay? I have this triangle here. There's some important things that we need to talk about with this. First of all is that a triangle, if you can see what I'm drawing here, is half, basically half of a rectangle. Okay? This triangle, if I extend up, can make a rectangle. A rectangle would be 6 by 8 would be the total area inside here. But I have to cut that total area in half to get the area of my triangle. So basically, if I did 6 multiplied by 8, I would get 48 for the whole rectangle. And then I'd have to take half of that. So 48 divided by 2 is going to be 24. Oh, this is off the page. Sorry, didn't realize it. So this is going to be 48 divided by 2, 24. 6 times 8, 48. 48 divided by 2 is 24. So this is going to be 24 square centimeters. Now, always, any shape of a triangle can be made into a rectangle. And this is where the formula for area of a triangle comes from. We say area equals half multiplied by the base times the height. This here being basically what would be the sides of a rectangle being cut in half. You'll also see it written like this: base times height divided by 2. You have to do that first on top. Now, base times height divided by 2 is the same thing as half, right? Dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. Okay, so let's do another example with a triangle. This triangle here, if we do area equals 1/2 times the base times the height. The base of this triangle is right here, 6. Height of the triangle is here, also 6. So 1/2 times 6 times 6 would be half of 6 is 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 6, 12, 18 square centimeters. Now again, this triangle, if we were in the classroom, I'd do a little demonstration to cut this out for you. But you can see that this imaginary triangle and this imaginary triangle actually fit right inside this triangle. Again, showing that even though the triangle is shaped a little bit different, it is still half of a rectangle. Okay, so to review, area of a rectangle. Sorry, I got some bad lead through here. Area of a rectangle equals base times height, and area of a triangle equals 1/2 times the base times the height. Okay, now let's go back and talk about perimeter. Okay, perimeter is the distance around the outside edge. Okay, distance around the outside edge. So if we go back to example 1, we already have an area of 50 square centimeters, but the perimeter is different. That's this combined distance. This length plus this length plus this length plus this length. In a rectangle, you have 2 sides that are the same and another set of 2 sides that are the same. So here you could write 5 plus 5 plus 10 plus 10. So that's 10 plus 20 is 30 centimeters. Okay? Now look, both of these were the base, were the heights, and both of these were the bases. So you could sort of say the perimeter is equal to 2 times the base plus 2 times the height. Okay, that's sort of the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. But if you can understand the idea that you have to add up all of the outside edges, that's going to be good enough. This will work, adding them all up. If not, you can kind of try to put them into this formula here. Let's look at the area or the perimeter of this other rectangle that we had here. So again, this is going to be 8 on both sides, 15 on top and bottom. So we're going to have 2 times 8 plus 2 times 15. So that's 16 plus 50 is 66 centimeters. Or 8 plus 8 plus 15 plus 15. Oh my goodness. 2 times 15 is 30. I am so sorry. 2 times 15 is 30. It's going to be 46. I knew that didn't seem right. Okay. 46. So 8 plus 8, 16. 15 plus 15 is 30. Okay? So 16 plus 30, 46 centimeters. Now you notice on these, I'm not writing square centimeters because perimeter is a linear distance. We're not talking about how many of these sort of square units that we need. Okay? All right, so that's pretty good for rectangles. Same thing on the triangle here. We just need to add up all the sides. Okay, 6 centimeters plus 8 centimeters plus 10 centimeters is going to get us our perimeter. 6 plus 8, 14, plus 10, 24. Okay, perimeter and area of rectangles and triangles. Another type of shape that you're going to see is going to be circles. These have a little different rule to them. We have this special character related to, it relates the diameter or radius of a circle with its circumference and area. So this special character is called pi. Okay? It's called pi, and it gets used. There's a button on your calculator that looks like this. The ratio for pi, the number that we can use as an approximate, is 3.14. So this is what I'm going to use today in my calculator. The area of a circle can be found by using the formula. Area of a circle is pi r squared, r being the radius. Okay, r is the radius. Should remember from geometry that radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the opposite edge. So in this particular circle, we have a radius of 3. So we'll say area equals pi times 3 squared. Okay? Pi times 3 squared. So, by order of operations, we need to do our exponent first. So area equals pi times 9. Now, some teachers at some level are going to give you credit for this 9 pi square inches, but sometimes we need to know what it is going to be as a decimal. So I'm going to type in my calculator 9 times 3.14, and I'm going to get the area equals 28.26 square inches. All right, let's do another example with that quickly here. Area equals pi r squared. This time our radius is 5, so area equals pi 5 squared, which is pi times 25. Again, in my calculator, 25 times 3.14, 78.5 square inches. Now, circumference is the same word, is the same thing as perimeter, but when we do circumference, This is area. When we do circumference of a circle, we use a different formula. And this formula is circumference equals 2 pi r. Now, some people get this confused. 2 pi r squared. It looks like the same characters, but remember 2 here, this 2 is a squared exponent. This 2 means multiply by 2. So the circumference of this one, circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius, which is 3. Now, 2 times 3 is 6. So this is 6 pi. So 6 times, I'm going to calculate it, 3.14 is 18.84 inches. Okay? If we go back, our other example here, circumference equals 2 pi r. This is going to be 2 times pi times 5, which is going to be 10 pi, which when we multiply by 3.14, 10 times 3.14 on my calculator is going to give me 31.4 inches. Okay? So, let's review these one more time really quick. Area of a rectangle, area of a triangle, area of a circle is pi r squared, and circumference is 2 pi r. Now, I'm going to throw an example up here for you guys. Well, I think I am. I guess I'm not because I've lost it. Oh no, here it is. Alright, so why don't you guys go ahead, hit pause, and work on these 3 examples. Okay? Alright, now that you've unpaused, here your area is going to be 20 square inches. Let me fix that. Here your area is going to be 30 square feet. And here your area is going to be 3.14 I hit the wrong buttons there. 3.14 times 49. $153.86 meters, square meters. Okay, this one, your perimeter will be 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5, 9 plus 9 is 18 inches. Here, 5 plus 12, 17, plus 13 is 30 feet. And here, our circumference is going to be 2 times pi times r, so that's going to be 14 pi, which is 14 times 3.14, 43.96 meters. Okay, since we talked about pi so much in this lesson, why don't you go ahead, if you are taking the IDLA class, why don't you go ahead and email your teacher that my favorite flavor of pie is apple. And if you're not taking the IDLA class, I hope that you were able to learn something today and that this can do a little better for you in the future. Thanks.